Hello, welcome to some Minutes with Meg. And as I start this, an instrumental version of Kendrick Lamar's, I butchered this in one Gemini video. It's Kendrick Lamar, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe just came on. And I thought, yeah, this definitely goes along with what I'm saying. Like, consider who's like fucking with your vibe. Like, so today's Minutes with Meg is going to be called Consider the Source. Those 3 words were said to me about 10 years ago from someone as I was essentially bitching and complaining about a coworker. Like, who does this woman think she is? She's trying to tell me what to do and how to do my job, blah, blah, blah. And this person I was friendly with and worked with as well said, consider the source. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, consider who's telling you this. She's crazy. She's overzealous. Nobody in this building likes her. She tries to tell everyone what to do. Basically telling me don't take it personally because take a good hard look at who's telling you what to do. That blew my mind. So now picture this. This is just an example. You're working at your desk job and you're in your little cubicle, and the new person who has started in your company is nearby. They are muy caliente, great smile, personality. You've caught them looking at you. You've been looking at them. You feel a vibe. You can't help but smile when they come over. And you're digging this person, and you got the feeling they're digging you too. And you've been single and you're into it. And then you notice the person at the cubicle next to you, who maybe once a long time ago you had your own little flirtation friendship with, but it never went anywhere. All of a sudden that person's like, what's going on with you and the new chick or new guy? I see you guys flirting. And you're like, even if we are, what the fuck does it matter to you? But you're like, no, we're just being friendly. And that coworker brings it up multiple times as the weeks go on. Look at you, chumming it up, flirting it up. Did you go out with him or her yet? Oh, it's coming. Oh, you got a crush over there. Oh, look at you. You're sprung like T-Pain in the 2000s. Like, won't get off your dick about it. This happened, and a friend was telling me about it, and he's like, she's in a relationship. She has a boyfriend. I don't know why she won't give me, why is she giving me such a hard time? I said to him, consider the source. He goes, what do you mean? Is she in a good relationship? No. Did you used to flirt with her? Yeah. Is she now watching you give that attention to someone else? Yeah. So while my buddy was all in his head, like, why is this bitch giving me a hard time? I made a bigger picture and was like, she's jealous. Look at consider the source. Consider who's giving you a hard time. I've applied this to people giving me advice in life. Now, someone out there could be like, bitch, I'm considering you. You always in sweatpants and sweatshirts. I'm not taking you seriously. And that there's someone out there who's like, did Meg do her hair today? Oh my God, she finally did it. Someone's considering judging the advice that I give. I think some of us trust people so blindly, and I think it's love and it's rose-tinted glasses, and I'm not talking partners, I'm talking family, friends, the people closest to you who you say, hey, can I run something by you? And you tell your story and they give you feedback or advice on it. How many people have said, well, consider who's upset you. Consider who you're taking the advice from. For years, I was taking a relationship advice from different friends. I've been single. I've never been married. And I was very insecure with what should I do? Like, I used to turn to everybody, and this goes back to childhood where I had a lot of directions and being told what to do when I was a kid. I grew into an adult who needed feedback from everyone, like, what should I do? What should I do? What's the next step? And people finally are like, Megan, you know what you should do. What do you think you should do? And then it's essentially following your intuition and stuff. But for years, I was taking advice from people. And, you know, there were exes or people who, like, it wasn't panning out or going the way I would have hoped it would or could have gone. And I had people around me like, F them, move on. Oh, she looked at you weird, fuck her, move on. Like very dismissive. And I did that, and I followed people, and I followed their advice, and I would get rid of and dismiss people from my life who I actually really liked or cared about, but I was following the advice of these people. Yeah, I guess they're really not good for me. Like, yeah, not taking into my own consideration what was going on with this person. I was just following blind advice that was like, fuck them, move on, you can do better. Well, fuck them, move on leads to being single for a very long time. And I mentioned this the other day in a reading. It was like someone having, I think it was Gemini, Cancer, cusp, being so particular with what you want. And then one day realizing, like, damn, I could have missed out on all these opportunities because I was being a picky bitch over here. Well, I started one day, literally one day, thinking about who I was taking advice from. Looking at the relationships they were in. I'm like, jeez Louise, I'm taking relationship advice from someone who's been with the same person for like 15 years, since they were 16. They never dated anybody else. Why am I going to take dating advice from someone who didn't even really fucking date? They've been with the same person. And then looking over here, and it's like, yeah, you're telling me F them, move on. You're cheating. You're a cheater. You've literally cheated on your boyfriend, and you're talking to other people, but you're telling me, forget that person, move on. And then looking at this person and being like, oh, they're telling me, I need to raise my standards. Like, oh, you could be doing so much better when you're like, bitch, I've been single and picky as fuck. How could I get any pickier? And they're like, oh, you need to raise your standards. I don't date anyone shorter than blah, blah, blah. I won't date anyone who has less than this much, and da 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 da. And like, and then I start looking at the people. Yeah, you have those standards and you bounce from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. That meme that's like, how are y'all finding like 5 loves of your life a year? I can't even find one in a lifetime. But I'm going to take that person's advice about fuck them and move on. So the point of this, and I know I ended up going with relationships, but this applies to anything. You know how many people I would have told 5 years ago, I think I want to go on YouTube and like do tarot. They would have been like, do you want to ruin like your reputation? Do you want to be viewed as like a witch bitch? Do you want to be like, do you want people like watching you and judging you? And I would have been like, you're right. Megan, now I follow my intuition more than anything else, anyone else, parent, family. The conversations I have with myself, the universe, and God, that is what I follow. And let me tell you, I have found more personal satisfaction, internal happiness, in ways, I want to say, like cutting off toxic things in my life that I was reliant, people, places, things that I was reliant on. Following my intuition, which was astrology, tarot, these deep thoughts, and sharing my views and this inner wisdom that's kind of just downloaded into me over the past 20 years. If I had followed people telling me not to do this, or that, like, let's just stay normal. Just stay an average masshole girl who watches New England sports and, cooks and is spicy, because Massachusetts girls are, we're not like the rest. If I had just followed the herd, I would not be here right now. And when I tell you, I have, within the past 6 months, found more personal fulfillment, satisfaction, and happiness on my own than I ever have before in life. And another Minutes with Meg will be about, like, having to let go of people you thought you'd always talk to for the rest of your life, and then realizing once you've let them go, you're taking on this whole other path that you're like, shit, this is my yellow brick road. This is my way to get to Oz. I never was gonna get to the personal fulfillment and happiness that on your path that I was following with your advice and looking up to you. Once you start looking up to yourself and your own advice, your own yellow brick road pops out. And man, let me tell you, knock on wood, I haven't found any witches besides myself. Thank you for coming to Minutes with Meg. Go check out your signs for your readings. Tell your friends, share this, subscribe. Love you. Consider the source of who you're listening to.